Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Dentistry Disrupted 2020. My name is Vic Schindel. So good to see so many friends, clients, lots of new friends in the house over here. We appreciate you trucking out to London, Ontario. They said, how come you're hosting this in London? Why isn't this in Toronto, Vancouver, somewhere else? We said, if we can have an event like this with 8 of the rock star disruptors in dentistry across this country, people will come, and you guys just prove that with capacity right to the walls. There's ticket scalping outside going on right now. Thank you so much again for being a part of it. In the house tonight, we've got people over here that are literally visiting from Australia, Cork, Ireland. Chicago's in the house, New York, Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, Ottawa. Of course, the GTA crowd. We've got our Detroit Mercy crowd and UDMs in the house tonight. Of course, all of our friends from here in London and everywhere else. Really appreciate you coming out. Today, we're going to do something that's never been done before. This is the first disruption on dentistry event ever in North America, and you're a part of it today. We're streaming, and we're going to podcast out to Australia and out to Ireland, so good morning to our friends out there when you're watching this particular podcast in the coming days. The 9 people that you're going to get to see today are doing innovative things in a market that has been stagnant for so long. And their 30-minute sessions are meant to kind of elevate your thought process to how this game is whole changing. And it is a little bit of a game. There's the clinical, there's the business, but you're meant to be inspired by their stories because it's their stories. And everything you see today, we hope that you can take one idea away from it, just one. If this entire day you walk away with one thought that'll change the way you think, it was worth your Saturday. So with that, a couple of small housekeeping things. We're going to have breaks throughout the day. We encourage you to visit all of our vendors. Coffee, tea on breaks all the way through. I'm going to ask everybody to take their phones, put them on silent, but please keep them out. You can feel free. This is about, as well, social media. All of our speakers are on LinkedIn. They have YouTube pages. You're going to find them, of course, on Facebook and Instagram. And I know a lot of you and all of us are connected in so many different ways through social media, and that's how we gathered here today. So we encourage you to keep your phones out for that, but please go on silent mode. It's my pleasure to start off the day introducing you to our first featured guest speaker and first dental disruptor. His name's Dr. Hesham Sherghin. Some of you have met Dr. Sherghin before, but he's interesting because he's doing things that people have never done as dental professionals in the history of this country. At the ripe young age of 35 years of age, Hesham now owns over 10 practices, has hundreds of employees, has a ton of partners who are also in this room here today, and he's completely and totally been disrupting dentistry his way from the day he graduated. The first time I met him back at UDM days, I'm like, wow, this guy has got some big vision and big thoughts, and he's living it right now. In spite of all of how crazy busy Hesham is, he decided that in his free time, and I got to tell you guys, this guy works about 21 out of 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So in the 3 hours that he's not sleeping, he decided to do an IV Executive MBA, which he's doing right now. So we asked Hesh to come out today and speak about the art of management, and how do you build a great team, and how do you go forward in this amazing, amazing provision of a career, and how he's disrupting it with his own thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Hesham Sherghin.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you so much for coming today. Vic, well done. Can we all give him a round of applause one more time for putting this together? When Vic told me last year that he's going to take it to the next level, he's going to bring in a great crew, media production team, a great team here, fill out the whole stage with an amazing audience. I was super excited, and I wouldn't have missed it for the world. So thank you so much, Vic. I really do appreciate everything that you've done, not just for me, but for everybody here. So last year I did my talk on digital dentistry. So I thought, oh, you know what, no big deal. Digital dentistry, I'm just going to polish it up a little bit more. And about a month ago, Vic was like, I want you to speak on the art of management. I'm like, oh, God, really? Okay. That's an entire day's worth of lecture. That's no problem. We'll put it together. And he said, oh, you have about 30 minutes to do it. So with today's presentation, of course, I can't talk to you guys about everything on management, but I'm going to try my best to highlight the key factors as to make that would make every manager successful. So a little bit about me. I was raised in Windsor. I went to the University of Windsor, and I decided to stay close to home. I attended the University of Detroit Mercy School of Dentistry, and I loved dentistry. It was a dream come true for me. I truly enjoyed school in every way, shape, and form. I didn't know if I wanted to specialize or not. Did I want to go into oral surgery, orthodontics? So enrolling into an AEGD at St. John's Providence Health System in Michigan was something that naturally made a lot of sense to me because I really didn't know which direction that I wanted to go. After that, it solidified my true passion for general dentistry. So I moved to London, where I currently practice, and last year I enrolled into an executive MBA program at Ivy Business School. And I encourage every one of you guys to consider this program or consider any type of MBA program because it truly opens up your eyes and it puts you in scenarios and perspectives that you would have never been exposed to before. 40 to 50 hours a week, this is where I spend my time. A lot of my partners and colleagues are here today and they would know that clinical dentistry to me is my hobby, it's not my job, and something that I truly enjoy. I'm also the founder of Amity Management and the co-founder of Amity Technologies. And without these guys, I wouldn't be able to enjoy what my true passion is, and that's clinical dentistry. I wouldn't be able to spend time with my friends, and more importantly, I wouldn't be able to spend time with the people that I truly care about and enjoy so much, and I truly love. So the next question is, what is management? Everybody has a different definition of what management is. The father of modern management theory, Peter F. Drucker, states that management is a multi-purpose organ that manages business and manages managers and managers workers and work. You could tell he was an academic. And Harold Kuhn says that management is the art of getting things done through and with people in formally organized groups. So why is management so important? We wouldn't be here today without excellent management. Managers plan, they organize, they direct, and they monitor. So what makes managers successful? I could put 100 points here as to what makes a manager successful. So I decided to bring it down to 14. I tried to go 9, but unfortunately 14 is the best that I could do. Time management. Every one of you guys here today are here because you're excellent time managers. Most of you have kids, exams, friends and family members, and other commitments that you have to take care of, but you wouldn't be here today without managing your times appropriately, especially coming from different parts of the world. These are just some tips as to how to become an effective manager, and all of these tips you already know, and a lot of you have mastered already. Investing in others. Managers are not selfish, they're selfless, and they continue to spend time, energy, and effort investing in others. A successful manager is someone who makes everyone around them successful. Effective communication. Having an open and effective dialogue is something that every one of you guys should have when it comes to your management capabilities. All right? You can troubleshoot so many problems, but you couldn't do it without open and effective communication. Honesty and integrity. Honesty and integrity is based not on how you present yourself, but on the actions that you take on a day-to-day basis. Honesty and integrity are key fundamentals to who we are as healthcare practitioners. Personal and professional development. This is something that every one of you guys are doing here today, whether you're in school, whether it's something at work, whether it's something personally with your family, with your health, with your friends. You have to remember that if we are better, we become better. And when we become better, those around us become better as well. And when those around us become better, it's natural that everyone around them becomes better as well. Discipline. A lot of people think that discipline is waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, showing up to your morning huddle before everybody else. But true discipline is how you deal with yourself in a stressful situation. That's what highlights what true discipline is. Are you reacting to the situation, or are you responding to a situation? And true discipline doesn't come from something that's innate. It's something that you have to develop over time. Yes, waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Yes, showing up to your huddle. These are all key to becoming a successful manager, but at the same time to mastering what true discipline is. Open to feedback. This is a very touchy subject because we live in a world today that everybody is very sensitive to feedback. A lot of times we reward individuals for mediocre performance. And why do we do that? In her book called Radical Candor, Kim Scott talks about the world that we live in today. How everybody's getting a medal regardless if they finish first or if they finish last. And unfortunately, it's actually set us up for uncomfortable situations and uncomfortable conversations that we have with the people that we manage. And she says we should throw all that out the window. We should establish a dialogue of radical candor, where we should be open to the conversations that we have with one another. And it's okay to say, hey, you didn't do great today, but here's how we can be better. And it's okay for us to receive that as well, and to say, I didn't do great today, so I can do better tomorrow. It's not about you didn't do well, I'm not really sure, I don't know if I even want to engage this conversation. You know what, you did great, well done, we'll see you tomorrow, right? And that's not what true managers should be doing, right? We should be open to feedback, right? And we should be open to receiving feedback and giving feedback as well. Seeking advice. A lot of you guys are my friends here. Seeking advice from your friends, your family members, your mentors, your partners. It's something that's very important, and it's something that I do on a day-to-day basis. These individuals will help you deal with any type of personal and professional matter that you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. And I have Mien Queck and Jeff Sumner, Dr. Rondinelli, and Dr. Amin Shivdi. These are individuals that I talk to on a day-to-day basis that help me and continue to help me become better, and the advice that they give me is something that I always take to heart. Respectful to others. Every one of you guys here today are respectful to others, so I don't really need to talk too much about this, but there is no such thing as a successful manager that doesn't show and give respect to other individuals. Not afraid to be wrong. And unfortunately, too many managers today are too afraid to be wrong. And unfortunately, right, that curbs success, that stunts innovation. Ken Robinson said that if you're not prepared to be wrong, you'll never come up with anything original. So just remember that innovation comes from those who were wrong many times. Managing conflict. A successful manager needs to not only be able to manage conflict, but anticipate conflict before it even happens. We all understand that people come from different walks of life. People come from different religious backgrounds, different cultural backgrounds, and every individual deals with and manages conflict differently. So it is very important for us to be able to anticipate it before it happens, to set up boundaries and understand how to prevent a conflict, and even if it does happen, how do we resolve it uneventfully? Humble. A humble manager is somebody that he recognizes or she recognizes that they're not the smartest person in the room, and they're comfortable with that. They understand that their goal is to make sure that the individuals around them understand and can become better. So a humble individual, I can give you guys a perfect example today. One of our colleagues this morning he ended up just spilling some coffee on his shirt, right? And one of the wealthiest guys in this room today and one of the most successful individuals in this room today dropped everything and went in and ran in there to help him out. That's somebody who's humble. That's somebody that truly cares about everybody's success and everybody's well-being. Supportive. it's true, and it's been tested and studied so many different times, that managers that show individuals that they work with support, it helps them physically, it helps them mentally, emotionally, and it helps them become better employees. It helps them become better parents. It helps them become better individuals as a whole. Appreciative. How much does the word thank you mean to you guys? Or you did a great job. Well done today. A pat on the back, a handshake, a high five. All of these are key success factors to becoming a good manager and getting the best and the most out of your employees and out of the individuals that you work with on a day-to-day basis. Your ability to network. Successful managers have the ability and the desire to continue to grow their network. And without the people that you see today here, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. Dentsply Sirona has always been a key factor in putting together the most innovative tools in our hand and the most innovative products in our hand to offer our patients the best technology on the planet. MNP and learners are professionals that we deal with on a day-to-day basis to make sure that our businesses are run and organized in the best way possible. Our networks, from 123 Dental to our friends at Huron Management, all of these individuals are people that help you become better. They help you become more successful managers. They help you inspire others to become better. So the big question here comes: why are managers star performers while others fail in achieving the organization goals? I'm going to talk to you guys today about Nancy. So 3 years ago, we established and founded Amity Management. And we decided that we want to attract and find the best in the business in London and surrounding area and go ahead and bring them into our platform. So we brought in the best general manager, the best operations manager, the best marketing director that we could find, best financial team, the best HR team. And one of the individuals, her name was Nancy. She was what Vic would call an absolute rock star. Nancy was a bookkeeper. She was an individual that was very tech savvy. She got work done effectively, efficiently. She got paid whatever she wanted to get paid. She worked whenever she wanted to work, from home. As long as she got the job done, we're okay with that. A couple of months ago, Nancy came up to me and my general manager and sat down in tears, providing me with her resignation letter. We were blindsided. How could somebody that we cared about, that we talked to on a day-to-day basis, put their letter of resignation in? So she came up to us and said she's absolutely miserable at home. Her kids and her husband absolutely hate us. We've barely met their kids or don't really have much of a relationship with them. And it made me really wonder and consider, how could I have been a better and more successful manager? I've utilized all these different tools and these different tips on how to be good and how to be a successful manager, but I still failed. And what I should have been thinking of is, instead of how do I become a better manager, it should have been how can I become a better leader? And that's one thing that we don't teach our managers on how to become. Here's the tips and tools that you need to become a successful manager. But what about leadership? Studies have all shown that leadership is something that you're not born with, but it's something that you develop over time. So how do we turn managers into leaders? The goal of management is consistency and order, where the goal of leadership is to motivate and create necessary change. Management is about the process, where leadership is about the people's feelings. Leaders communicate and set an example in work ethic and code of conduct. Leaders teach and inspire. Leaders are visionaries. Above all, leaders pay attention to relationships. Leaders convey the authority of a father and the warmth of a mother, or vice versa. Leaders form culture. We've seen this throughout humanity, is that cultures are formed by the behaviors of the great leaders. They know that a culture will be formed by why they do and not what they do. And we've all seen this. Leaders form followers, they form cultures, they form religions, they form countries. Leaders are visionaries. Leaders have the innate vision for progress. And leaders are constantly looking ahead. They're constantly seeing what can be done to improve things. Leaders are motivators. This is my MBA team. And every one of these individuals has such an inspiring story that will make them better leaders. Kind of skipped a couple here. Sorry, guys. Behind every successful team is a leader who knows how to motivate people. A leader understands how to issue a challenge. What seems impossible becomes possible when a leader knows how to motivate. Leaders are teachers. The poet Yeats once said that education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. Leaders motivate and they teach others to be better.
A lot of kids, a lot of young dentists who are just graduating and trying to figure out surgery. And so we did about a month ago, we taught the full day didactic portion where they actually learned how to actually how to create incisions, how to actually take teeth out, and today we're actually applying it. So we're actually saying, okay, you have patients down in chairs, how do you actually do it on real life patients? And so the great thing is that now we can actually coordinate it so they start with a simpler case, and as the day goes on, it gets more and more difficult. So by the time they're done at the end of the day or the weekend, they actually understand how to take teeth out.
The value for these dentists is, I don't even know if you can put, I don't think you can put a number on it. I mean, the potential to learn in this kind of environment where you're learning from experienced dentists and it's low stress, it completely takes the stress off of these dentists and ideally takes the stress off of the patients too. I mean, it's a win-win environment for the dentists and for the patient, because the patient knows I have dentists all the way from 1 or 2 years of experience up to 25 years of experience that have been doing this, and they know how to deal with all these complications or all these tough cases.
One of the big things that's stressed at this seminar or courses like this that are put on by Dr. Fleck, Dr. Chapman, and Dr. Sherghin is just offering the best care possible for your patients. And one of the ways to do that is to make sure you have the best training possible. So moving forward in my career, it always pushes you to pursue things at the highest level so that you're offering very high-end treatment and a high quality of care to your patients. So that's something that started now earlier on in my career that I'm hoping to improve on for the many, many years that I hope to practice. So it's one of those things that's invaluable, it's priceless. I recommend it for every dentist, specifically dentists who are just starting out, because it provides invaluable information that will help set the tone for the rest of your career.
For myself, I enjoy teaching. When I was in the military, it was one of the things that they taught us was to take younger dentists and expand their scope of practice so they could serve our military clientele better. And it's something that I enjoy outside of the military afterwards. I do a lot of coaching, sports, as well as I have dentists that have asked me to teach them how to do wisdom teeth, how to do implants and different things. So I enjoy the teaching aspect. And as I get further on in my career, that's actually what I want to do is teach more, whether it be at facilities like this or at a university.
So one of the things that we've launched in 2018 is what we call the Dentistry Academy. And what the Dentistry Academy is, it's an institution where we help young or experienced dentists become better clinicians, become better managers, become better leaders, to ultimately service and improve the greater good of dentistry. What else are managers, or leaders, sorry? Leaders are adaptable. Leaders are flexible, adaptable, and are closely attached to their environment. Leaders recognize. Recognition is work done well or good efforts, fosters a sense of positivity, togetherness, and gratitude amongst employees. When employees were asked what leaders could do more to improve engagement, over 50% of them said, give recognition. Leaders expect excellence, rightfully so. Leaders should set attainable but high standards for their team. They should expect the employees to meet their standards, thus pushing them towards excellence. Ultimately, great leaders are not those that are the nicest or toughest, but those who manage to get the best out of their employees. The employees need to know that leaders demand exceptionally high standards and excellence from them. And we're healthcare practitioners. That's an expectation. Leaders develop trust and credibility. Leaders don't misuse and abuse their power. Rather, they build trust. Trust and respect is based on the expectations of the leader who is compassionate towards their team members. So the next question here is, what makes a good leader great? You go ahead and you run studies, you conduct numerous amounts of research, and it all boils down to two different things. The two are empathy and perspective. Empathy. The man behind us here, or in this photo, his name is Bob Chapman, and he's been a champion for empathy. Bob Chapman is the CEO and chairman of the board of a $2.5 billion company called Barry Wehmler. And he came up with a concept called truly human leadership. And while developing this concept, he had two epiphanies. The first epiphany was that he was at his best friend's daughter's wedding. And at that wedding, he saw his best friend walk his beloved daughter down the aisle, and he could only imagine what his best friend was going through, what he was thinking. He was probably thinking, here I am, with my wife walking my beloved daughter down the aisle, someone who we cherish, care for, and love so dearly, and here we are about to pass her on to the groom, and we expect this person to take good care of her, to love her, to cherish her, to respect her the same way that we do. And then it occurred to him, why do we not treat our employees the same way? Every one of our employees is somebody's daughter. Every one of our employees is somebody's son, brother, sister, mother, or father. So why are we in our organizations not establishing that kind of relationship with our employee? Like we're treating them like that. The next epiphany that came to him was he would go to church every Sunday. And he would say, I would go there for an hour. And we would spend a great time there. And the pastor would go ahead and spend an hour motivating and rallying everybody up. Everybody afterwards becomes a better person. They want to give, they want to inspire, they want to lead, they want to help. And that's just 1 hour. We are with our employees for sometimes over 40 hours in a week, and we're not able to inspire them that way. Why not? Remember that leaders, great leaders, aren't in charge, but they take care of those in their charge. And that's the difference. Is that instead of thinking, how do I squeeze every minute, every hour out of every one of my employees? It should be, how can I put them in an environment where they can give us their natural best? Because if they give us their natural best, we know that they perform their best, which gives us good results, and we know that our patients get the best results possible. The next person here, I'm sure you guys all know this. This is Simon Sinek. He's written an amazing book called Know Your Why. And Simon talks about the perspective, the world that we're in today. And he breaks it down to two different things. And this is all based on a book written by the guy by James Carsey. And what James Carsey wrote is he said that in today's world, there are two different types of games being played. There is the finite game. And people playing a finite game, there are clear and distinct players in this game. There are clear boundaries. There are clear rules. At the end of the game, there are clear winners and losers. And unfortunately, in small business, and in dentistry, a lot of us are playing that game. How can I win? How can we be the best? But there are no winners in dentistry. There are no winners in small business. So we're looking at things through a different perspective. We should be looking at things through an infinite world. And in an infinite world, there are no clear players in the game. Can you guys hear me okay? In an infinite world, can you guys hear me better? All right. In an infinite world, there are no clear players. There are no clear winners or losers. The only difference here is that it's all about the willingness to play the game. And the only time that somebody loses in an infinite game is that if they run out of resources or they lose the will to continue to play. And that's what small business is. That's what dentistry is. That's why we call it a dental practice. Every day we show up, we utilize our resources. We continue to have the will, the drive to continue to be better and to improve. So what happens when somebody comes in with a finite perspective? Everybody's guilty of it. But they come into a game where it's an infinite game. What ends up happening is that the finite player will get frustrated, angry, because everybody around them is playing an infinite game. And as a result, what ends up happening? Staff morale decreases. Their will to continue to play the game decreases. It results into stress, fatigue, which results into anger, which results into issues at home that are taking effect. Their kids, their spouses are angry or upset as well. And that's where you get people to leave, right? Because they understand that they're playing an infinite game while their boss is asking them that they want to be number one. That doesn't even mean anything. So the point here that I want to emphasize and highlight here is that we should all know the game that we're playing. Okay? Because at the end of the day, it's not about winning in dentistry. It's about being better. It's about doing better. It's about making sure that the people that we play with on a day-to-day basis understand the game that we're in. Thank you. Thanks, buddy.
Nope, I'm good. Thank you, Hesham.